Hey, I'm Beth Lawrence, and that was my really high-tech way of introducing my broadcast today. And I am broadcasting from Arizona. I'm going to turn down the music now and talk to you a little bit about the Lawrence vocal system. So let's turn down the music. That was a little song that I wrote called Smile. I think that'll be my theme song from now on when I start broadcasts. Okay. So we will turn that off. So I am here in Arizona, and let's see who's on. Frank. Hi, Frank. Hi, Stephanie. All right. So I'm going to talk about the Lawrence vocal system today. And so, as I did say, if you didn't hear me, I'm in Arizona where it's sunny and about 60 today. Beautiful. And the reason I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Lawrence vocal system, which is a singing system that I developed, is because I want everybody to have a healthy voice. I had a lot of problems in my career and with my voice when I was first starting back in LA. And when I first started my career and got to LA and wanted to, have a healthy voice, I was taking voice lessons because I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right. And I took from a gal who was teaching a very popular method. It's still popular today. And in the course of 3 years of taking voice lessons and working in my career as a singer, I had nodules on my vocal cords 3 times in 3 years, which is not a good thing. After the 3rd time, I really thought, okay, it's me. I cannot have a career in music. My voice is too thin and too light. Obviously, something's wrong because I keep getting vocal issues. So luckily, someone told me about a different teacher, and I was a little skeptical, but I went to see my teacher, Giuseppe Balestrieri, and he was 92 at the time, a little old Italian guy on Hollywood Boulevard, and I started with him, and he taught Bel Canto Singing. Bel Canto Singing is what saved my voice, and I have patterned my vocal system, the Lawrence vocal system, after Bel Canto Singing. And there are 7 steps to my Lawrence vocal system. Let's see if you can see that. 7 steps. I'm going to be talking about just 5 of them today, and they are all integral to really having a healthy voice. Most people who come to me and want to sing better, or they're having problems with their voices, they really have, it all breaks down to mostly constriction somewhere in the vocal mechanism. You're either too tight in your breathing, or you're not breathing correctly, or your jaw's tight, or the throat is not open. There are a lot of things that could be going on. So what we want to do is become aware of the bad habits that we might be using that are causing the problems in our voices. Once we open up the voice, which is really what Bel Canto is all about, and Bel Canto is an old opera method, and I never sang opera really. I always sang R&B and musical theater, which I love. So, but this method, once I started studying with Giuseppe, my maestro, I never once had another problem with my voice, and it allowed me, thankfully, to go on and have a career in music. And that's what I want for everybody else. I know that whether you sing in a choir and you just wish that you could hit your high notes a little easier, or you're really having some vocal issues, chronic hoarseness, not any ability to have power in your voice, if you sing and you love to sing, and by the way, those of you who are on the broadcast today, please share if you feel that there are other people that would like to learn about the Lawrence vocal system and how to have a really healthy voice for life. Please invite them onto the broadcast, and do follow me because I'll be doing these broadcasts a lot. Now that I've discovered Periscope, I love it. At any rate, if you are wanting to have a healthy voice, the first thing you've got to do, the number one step in the Lawrence vocal system, is breath. And your breath is really your vital energy. You have got to really know how to breathe in that vital energy and use that vital energy, because as you will see as we go along, and I'm talking more about the Lawrence vocal system, most teachers never talk about this, but your vital energy comes in as oxygen and it goes out as emotion. And that is actually step number 7, which is the alchemy of voice. And we're not going to get into that today because that's more of a high level. Once you are really singing, that's how you really transmute sound to emotion. And that's what singing, the miracle of singing, is all about. So you've got to bring in that vital energy. Number 2 step is conscious breathing. That is the engine. How you consciously breathe and support the voice. That's the engine that powers the energy that you have just brought in on your breath. This is so important when you are singing or speaking. If you're not supporting that tone and that sound, then you are going to have a lot of problems. You're going to have perhaps be under pitch. A lot of people who come to me say, oh, I'm tone deaf, I can't stay on pitch. And we will discover that they are just not supporting the tone, which causes them to be under pitch or flat. So you've got to learn how to consciously breathe and use that breath, that supporting with the diaphragm. It's like a cushion of air. You've got to use that to support the tone. That's what helps you to hit those beautiful high notes also. You can think of it as a trampoline. You have this beautiful cushion of air that just springs that tone right out, and it, as long as your throat is open, allows you to hit those beautiful high notes without any effort. The 3rd step in the Lawrence vocal system is also really so crucial. It might be different than you know. It's placement. And that's your resonance chamber. Those of you who are on the broadcast right now, how many of you have taken voice lessons before? And let's see if I can see your chats here. I'm a little new to this, so I'm just seeing... Oh, okay, no, I don't want to hide chat. Okay, so of those of you on the broadcast, have you taken voice lessons before? No? Okay. Well, many teachers that I had, and I had a lot of teachers, would tell me to put all my sound up in the mask. And that really didn't work well for me at all. And I know that most teachers will tell you to put that sound up here in the mask. Direct the sound into the face and into the mask. My teacher, Giuseppe, always said, use your body. Put the sound in your body. That is your resonance chamber. And once I started doing that, it made singing so easy. So that's a really great secret to learn and to start to cultivate for yourself. If you've been directing all the sound forward, now you're going to direct that sound backwards. And I know that sounds like, oh no, that doesn't seem right. But it really is. Instead of pushing out like that, you direct that sound back and into the body, and the body then becomes this huge, beautiful resonance chamber for you, which if you're directing the sound only up here, then you're going to have generally a brittle and sometimes very nasally sound. So body placement is very important in the Lawrence vocal system. Next is the open throat. The open throat, and that's your portal. In the Lawrence vocal system, you've got to open up that throat in the back. And, you know, until I started studying with Giuseppe Balestrieri, I didn't even think about, okay, how do I open my throat? But there are specific ways you can do it, and that's what you learn in the Lawrence vocal system. It's as simple as yawning. Ah, like that. Oh, by the way, please share with your friends and let them know, and please come back on. Tomorrow I'm doing a Wednesday wild card, so watch for that. And I'm going to talk about the sigh and how to release the voice rather than trying to push the voice all the time. I'm going to be talking about an exercise that I call the sigh, and you really learn how to let that voice go and not push it, just release the voice and allow it to come out where it needs to be. So, the open throat, that directs and colors the sound that is coming out of the throat. And you've got to have an open throat or you're going to have a very constricted sound. A lot of times people can't hit their high notes easily because their throat is closed down and constricted. So in the Lawrence vocal system, you learn how to open that throat and allow the sound to come out. And that makes sense, doesn't it? That if your throat is closed down, let's say this is the back of your throat, these are your teeth. If the throat is closed down in the back, how is that sound going to come out? And what happens with a lot of singers is that you have to force that sound out and push really hard, and that's what really causes a lot of vocal problems and nodules on the vocal cords, because you are pushing too hard and you're putting too much compression on the vocal cords, and you don't want to do that. So next, the next step that we're going to talk about are the organs of speech. Those are your articulators. And yes, they are very important, even though we don't think about them very much. That is your jaw, your lips, and your tongue. So many times people have a really constricted jaw, and they hold and they sing like this. They're clenched like that. You don't want that. You want the jaw to be relaxed and open when you sing, because if you're clenching your jaw, then again, how is that sound going to get out? It's going to be very tight and constricted. No sound is going to be able to penetrate that locked up jaw. So you want the lips very loose. I always say, the few times that I did take opera lessons or classical, my teachers would always have me do these weird configurations with the, like on certain vowels you do, whatever. These really crazy things with your with your lips and mouth. And I think, you just do what you do when you talk. You just create the sound. Let all this stuff get out of the way. Let the tongue get out of the way, because the tongue can cause a lot of constriction. The tongue tends to come up in the back of the throat, and that also blocks the sound. So those are all topics that I'm going to be talking about with the Lawrence vocal system. So please watch for that and follow me if you'd like. I'd love that. If you want more information, you can go to my website also, which is allaboutvoice.com, and there's a lot of useful information. I also have a YouTube channel which you can look at, which have a lot of these tips. So with that, I'm just going to review these steps. Number 1, breath. That is your engine. Number 2, conscious breathing. That is the engine that powers the energy. Number 3 is placement. You want to place the sound in the body because that is your resonance chamber. Number 4, the open throat. That's your portal. And you really want to get that throat open so that the sound can come out. And number 5, the organs of speech. Those are your articulators, the lips, the jaw, and the tongue. And you really want those to be open and relaxed and natural. So the Lawrence vocal system is all about opening up the voice, releasing the sound, letting all of this go, and just really, really allowing the voice to come out naturally. That's really what you want, is to have an effortless, flowing, open sound. And that is all about the Lawrence vocal system. So I hope to see you here again. Thanks for being on the broadcast. And I am Beth Lawrence. My company's all about voice. And we will see you again soon. And I'm going to turn on my little traveling music. And I want to say cheers to all of you. It has been a pleasure to see you here today. And please share with your friends. Hope to see you again. Thanks so much. Cheers from Beth Lawrence in sunny Arizona. Happy singing.